pressure on the Wildcats. 1986 was the last time they failed to make the playoffs, and you don't have to go back to 2017 when it came down to the last game where they had to make the playoffs. So they do have some recent history of doing this, and whenever you've got Bryce Cotton on your team, you're always going to be a chance.
So this tells the story. The Amy ladder, Melbourne #1, top of the pops. Whoever finishes fourth will play Melbourne in their semi-final series. Illawarra and Sydney have decided positions 2 and 3 earlier today.
Well, yeah, the Jack Jumpers, unfortunately, their percentage nowhere near good enough to be able to get in with that. So they've got to hope that the Phoenix can get a win over the Perth Wildcats. And I'll tell you what, I'm starting to get a little nervous here. It's all come down to this final game. How's it going to pan out? Well, we will see. And look at this. Look at the finals resume of the Perth Wildcats. Everybody knows. We know they're the greatest organisation. We've seen it. 35 consecutive finals appearances.
Outrageous.
And it all comes down to this final game. I mean, you couldn't script it.
Well, they'd love to have Damien Martin, you'd think, for this kind of contest. Big game on the line. That's when you bring in your big gun. Did you bring your singlet? Welcome to you, Damien.
I didn't bring the singlet, but just purely by coincidence, I'm wearing pink. That is the breast cancer care awareness game. But I'm getting nervous in the build-up. I've watched the build-up video. I would love to be out there. It's not often I actually stand courtside and wish I was still playing. This is the game I'd love to be out there. But to be honest, I don't think the current roster wants me out there. They'd definitely end the streak.
Well, Damien, we talk about players who are built for this moment. You are one of those with every play that you made across your career. Bryce Cotton, he is a man of the moment, built for a game like this. What are you expecting tonight?
You're exactly right. The reason we brought him in back in 2017, like Drew was saying, was because we were sitting last on the ladder on Christmas morning. Fast forward, you bring BC in. It comes down to the last weekend. We had to beat Sydney, then finish it off by beating Melbourne in Melbourne just to qualify for the finals. The rest is history. Went on to win the grand final. BC was amazing. Grand final MVP. So he has been in this position before. He's lived up to it, and I don't expect any different tonight.
You should never take Bryce Cotton for granted, but let's just assume he does what you expect him to do today. Who is going to be his running mate? Who is the next guy that's going to step up now that Vic Law is not out there?
Look, the obvious choice would be someone like a Todd Blanchfield, Michael Fraser, if he can go for another 19 points, Arla versus Cairns. But in saying that, it was Majuk that stepped up. And when they get a bit of structure, they get into that pick and roll, they take the ball out of Bryce's hands and they use him as a decoy to make the defense move on the weak side. Good things happen when Mitch Norton's got the ball in a pick and roll situation, whether it's Matty Hodgson or, like I said, Majuk. So everyone does have to collectively stand up, but I'd love to see Blanchfield in particular get more shots, get more sets run for him, and see if he can go for 15 to 20 tonight.
Chime in whenever you like, Damien. You can take over whenever you like. This is the starting five. Let's have a look at the starting fives for both teams to celebrate the NBL Finals. DoorDash are giving you the chance to eat your way to LA. Use the code DASH2LA. All orders between now and May 29, and you'll be in the running to take 3 friends or family on a 5-night trip to see the Lakers in LA.
What is, and we saw that Perth lineup, and you're right, Todd Blanchfield and Fraser the ones that's stepping up, but here it is with the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix. They have limped this last half of the season, and they're going to need some big games. I don't think Joe Chi is another one that could dominate, or has the capacity to dominate this one as well.
Underway in game 140 of 140 regular season games in this Hungry Jacks NBL22 season. And Mitch Creek gets the early shot up, and the equation is simple. Wildcats win, they're in.
And that's a really good start. Who's going to take Mitch Creek? That's a big question. Vic Law was the likely one, but that time there they did a good job of guarding him in the low post.
So Arthur's going to be the one to get the direct matchup on Bryce Cotton. He forces Mitch Norton to go out of bounds, and we've got to say a big hello to all the Jack Jumpers that'll be watching this game.
Yeah.
He's sitting on the edge of their seat for an entire 40 minutes.
Yeah, that's the other side of the equation. Wildcats lose, they're in. And this man, you would think, would be on a mission today, Mitch Creek. It's essentially Southeast Melbourne Phoenix's grand final. Last game of their season.
Yeah, I'm not sure that's the right way to go about guarding Mitch Creek. You can tell they've come out strategically, put him on the box twice, and Fraser needs to keep the ball out of his hands, half front him.
Creek taken on, and it scatters its way finally back into Southeast Melbourne Phoenix hands. Leafa.
Good start from the Phoenix. Quick 5 points. Tell you what, they played the Sixers the other night. They just got over the line. They were poor for about 90% of that game. Made a big run towards the end of it. to get over the line. So they're coming in. They've had a disappointing season, no doubt about it. They have a chance here to end this historic streak of the Perth Wildcats on their home floor, in front of their home fans. Just to finish on a bit of a positive note with what has been a disappointing season.
It's been a long time since they've been in this venue. They've played 62 games since the last time they actually were in Perth.
And it drops. Hodson foul. And they'll go to the line for the extra.
White 26, 2, 6, hands.
It's a good feed. They're always going to try and keep the ball out of Bryce Cotton's hands. As you mentioned, Drew, you mentioned in the opener in 2017, they had to beat Melbourne United in the last game to get into the finals. Casey Prather, 26 points, 11 rebounds in that one. They won by 2, 96-94 over United.
I think that one was, my memory serves me correct, that was here in Melbourne too, wasn't it?
Cotton had 19 points, you're right. They'll have a chance to do it again. This man, you think, is going to have a huge say in it.
Can't find his range just yet. Mitch Creek pulls it down the floor, hands it over, and a little floater on the run. Delightful to watch from Xavier Mumford.
Well, he's been great the last half of the season, Xavier Mumford. Took him a little while, and I think it also took a little while for Simon Mitchell to figure out how he needs to play him, and they've finally done that. Unfortunately, it all happened a little late. Here's Todd Blanchfield, and he's one that been a little inconsistent the last quarter of the season, and he needs to be big. No Vic Law, you've got to find points from somewhere, and if you look at their last 5 or 6 games, they've been held in the 70s a lot.
It was really quiet the other night, especially once Vic Law was ruled out, everybody expecting Todd Blanchfield to have a big impact. Really quiet, and he's going to find it a little tougher to get involved as much, because now everyone's focusing on Bryce Cotton. Everyone knows that he really is the next man up. Michael Frazier as well, but a lot of the defense was looking at Vic Law, looking at Bryce Cotton. Todd Blanchfield able to get a bit more open. Now he's going to have to try and work a lot harder to get his looks.
Liafa. Hard to know what we're going to get from Southeast Melbourne Phoenix in this one. Disappointing season. Their motivation will obviously be to finish strong and do some damage to Perth's record of 35 finals series in a row. And that man, as you mentioned, Michael Frazier, is going to have to play a massive role in the absence of Vic Law.
Well, he is, and he's got a huge job on the defensive end trying to deal with Creek, but they're going to need his offense as well.
Creek, little up fake, dance back, 3-point shot. A little short. You can hear Simon Mitchell barking the instructions.
Brandon Ashley already out there with the 2 fouls on Joe Chi. He was excellent the other night against Adelaide. As Todd Blanchfield tees one up, that's short. Brandon Ashley's had some really good moments for the Phoenix. It's all about just him making smart decisions when it comes to fouls. So he'll have little brain lapse and get some easy fouls that he doesn't need to do.
Big crowd in at RAC Arena for the Stronger in Pink game for breast cancer awareness in WA. Perth Wildcats wearing their pink uniforms. And both coaches working overtime early. Ashley at the line.
Wholesale changes early in this one as well. 3 on 3 off. And Travis sees his first action along with Kevin White.
Travis was quiet the other night as well. Scott Morrison just giving the instructions to Mitch Norton and Frazier as they sit down. Luke Travis is someone who you think can have a big impact, swing the momentum with what he does. Getting on the glass, getting out in transition.
We had a career high early on in the season against the Phoenix when they completely disregarded him.
Fouled on the 3-point shot.
Think about big moments throughout the season. Don't have to cast your mind back far to Friday night. The Laura Hawks left Bryce Cotton wide open with a chance to tie the game, and he came up short. Even a wide open 3 in a clutch moment. Out of 10, how many is he making, Drew?
Well, he's going to, I would have thought he would have been in the 90 percentile, particularly at that stage of the game.
Exactly right.
When the game's on the line and you leave him maybe it was because he was that wide open that it plays with your head a little bit more than just being partially open, because he had a completely wide open shot, a brain fade by the Illawarra Hawks. And congratulations to the Illawarra Hawks too. Another good win today over the Sydney Kings. They lock up second position.
It's going to be an exciting semi-final series. Expect that one to go to 3 games. There is Vic Law. The outs don't come much bigger at this crucial part of the season.
And outstretched hand of Ruben Tarangi. Can't pull it back in. Crowd involved in this one early. Wildcats have played finals the last 35 NBL seasons, an Australian professional sport record. Unbelievable, really. And it's on the line in this one tonight. White hands it up. Cotton's got to be the main man. Threw it up maybe for the alley-oop, didn't get finished. He's carved his way past them with ease and couldn't finish Liafa.
It's a let-off. That's poor defensive transition by the Perth Wildcats, and Liafa missed one that you'd normally expect him to make. You'd think there'd be a little higher level of desperation by the Perth Wildcats on the D-trans.
Travers gave it some thought. Put up a tough shot, but that's a nice rebound. Back out from the hand of Majuk. Long-range bomb, and the crowd back involved again, thanks to Kevin White.
Good knockdown from Kevin White. Majuk was awesome the other night. He was getting on the glass, being solid defensively, just hanging around, just finishing little dump-offs, offensive rebounds.
Back to Mitch Creek. Munford. Creek. Travers. Staring him down. 3 seconds left. Going to have to put it up from way outside. Never looked likely, and they pull it back out and get a second chance at it. Creek into the paint. Feeds it back outside. Little nudge under the bucket.
It's one of those fouls. Brandon Ashley just doesn't have to do it. You're not in position. If someone is put 2 hands in the back, you're going to get called right in front of the referee. Had one of them on Friday night. Had a lot of them throughout the course of the season. And such a big impact for the Phoenix. And speaking of big impacts, Cam Glidden, he was lights out the other night in their last home game of the season.
6 threes, I think it was.
And speaking of getting left open, they left him open a couple of times, Adelaide, and paid the price.
Cotton for a step back 3. Hasn't quite found his range just yet. The Wagstaff sidestep was delightful. Finish not quite there either. Munford takes his time. Liafa found some space, and the jam was nice from Ashley.
Really good offensive execution, but highly reactive on the defensive end, just playing catch-up that whole time. And if Phoenix are allowed to move the ball like that and get it through hands, it's going to be a tough night for the Perth Wildcats.
Wagstaff draws another foul. This one's on Ruben Tarangi.
That's just way too easy. And Bryce Chotton tries to fight over the top. Majuk tags, and Jesse Wagstaff forced to help when made the dump-off pass a no-brainer.
Majuk tag, but when you get there and your body is your help, you really got to get there right in front so that Azalea Arthur sees your body and makes you have to kick the ball. Or you have to stay completely attached to a shooter in Xavier Munford. He was caught right in no man's land. The Arthur just strolled past him. Little dump-off pass, Brandon Ashley finished. Bryce Collins going to sit down for a quick rest. Can't imagine he spends too long on the pine tonight.
No, it's a playoff game for them. He's going to be logging high 30 minutes, you'd expect. And again, a real easy. This is very reactive defense. So I was expecting more of a physical battle. Really test the limits to the officials on your home deck. We haven't seen it so far. It's been a very tentative, almost reserved approach, a cautious approach by the Wildcats on the defensive end.
You got to read as to why?
Well, I think it's just those nerves. You're out there just hoping your opponent's going to make a mistake rather than being proactive on the defensive end. And like I said, really test the limits to the officials, make it a real physical game. And we haven't seen that so far.
I've only got one team foul against them, so that just shows they are taking that step off, not really being physical and assertive on the defensive end. But 6 team fouls already for the Phoenix. Sends Jesse Wagstaff to the line here.
The pressure on Scott Morrison as well to deliver. First season as coach of the Wildcats. Also in control of the continuation of this amazing record. Munford hands it up. Glidden. Adnam danced his way inside. Couldn't finish. Big rebound. Big rebound again to win here. Hodgson standing strong. Then in his pocket picked.
Simon Mitchell asking for a travel, and it looked like he was probably right. Shuffling the feet a little bit, but this Dane Pinot just has a knack for offensive rebounds, getting his hand in there.
Simon Mitchell stalking the sideline again. The pressure on him to finish the season strong as well. Get a win. Try and salvage something from the rubble for Southeast Melbourne Phoenix this season. And rejected. Pinot getting a hand in it. And Blanchfield comes up worse for wear.
Tried to find a gap where there wasn't one. And good defense, gets the shot thrown out. Here it is, runs into Dane Pinot and just wasn't an opening.
8 seconds.
We spoke about Todd Blanchfield a little bit, being that next man up to have to put some points on the board. But if you're Perth, you've got to run a couple sets for him. He's not a player that's really going to take and make one-on-one moves until after he gets going, until he's seen the ball go down to make those tough shots.
Hodgson ran into a roadblock, got the finish though, and the foul.
It's going to be 2 fouls on Brandon Ashley now.
Just got out of position, tried to keep his hands up. You can tell he was consciously keeping his hands as vertical as he possibly could, but it was the body and moving into him that brought him undone.
You can keep your hands up as straight as you like, but if you're going to run straight into someone with the body, he's got to stand still and be as tall as possible. Simon Mitchell leaving him out there. Joe Chi also with 2 fouls.
And Tarangi with 2 fouls as well, having a sit down. So they are in a bit of trouble at the moment. Long range shot rims out from Ashley. Get it back, Adnam. Doesn't want to waste this possession. Draws a crowd. Pinot. Ashley with a spin move. Pocket pick. Put back. Doesn't quite end up the way that Southeast Melbourne Phoenix wanted it to. And now quickly Frazier down the other end. Gave it some thought. Hands it over. And not quite the finish with Mitch Norton.
It is.
Dane Pinot.
It was a let-off. They got a couple of good looks at the rim. Dane Pinot missed one that he really should make. And down the other end, just the penetration and get to the rim. I think you're right with Todd Blanchfield about how you need to get him going. And that was the beauty of last season under Trevor Gleeson. They ran their flex and they had designated actions that they could call upon in order to get him a look. It's a little more random with what they do this season. And as such, it can be a little hit and miss with Todd.
Which is why with Vic Law out not to draw a lot of the defensive assignment and just the defensive pressure, he's going to find that harder.
Adnam to Ashley. Trying to make it as difficult as possible for the Wildcats, Southeast Melbourne Phoenix. Norton gets it back, looks around. Wagstaff, shot clock winding down, and had it stolen.
Well, that's
the foul.
That's excellent defense from Brandon Ashley. That's exactly what he had to do the play before. Just stay there, keep your hands up, don't move forward into his body. Just try and be as vertical as possible. Jesse Wagstaff knew he was on 2 fouls and knows he's foul prone. So tried to get the little rip through, pulled his hand out at the right time in the end.
Adnam. Gets it back from Glidden. Shot clock down to the red. Outside the arc. Brilliant.
Nice hit by Kyle Adnam. He's one that, I don't know whether he's fallen out of favour, but has not been getting any really too much significant minutes the last, as Fraser knocks down the three ball, the last 6 or 7 games.
Like they were playing Foxwell, first guard off the bench. Young fella, but he's the national duty last week. Brandon Ashley, again, as you said, Gay, a couple of possessions here, just a bit too easy. They're ticking the scoreboard over. Fraser, he's hit 2 of 2 from outside.
Game's gone up a gear in the last couple of minutes. Right now being played as we expected it from the outset.
Kyle Adnam asking what else can he do in this situation. Mitch Norton knows how defenders are going to guard him. They're going to take a little bit of a step off, encourage him to shoot the ball. Problem is, he's really smart at reading that, and he just picks a point where he's just going to go. You're going to keep backing up. He's going to get into your body, or he's going to turn the corner and try and get to the lane for a layup. So it's hard, even on a closeout. Yes, you're going to close out short, but you've got to close out short in your stance. Be ready to move, because he's going to try and put his head down and get around you.
Damian Martin downstairs.
Yeah, you just mentioned that's a really heads-up play by Nordo, but for 2 points, not only are they in foul trouble, the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix, but it's also a 2-for-1 option, so you'll see the Wildcats get another possession by the end of the quarter. And you've mentioned Toddy Blanchfield a few times. I just wanted to chime in and say I completely agree that I love seeing him in more sets run, in particular a pin-down screen, because if you're lock and trail, he's got that really nice curl cut into the one-handed push shot, and if you try and cheat the pin down, he can flare back for an open three-pointer. I spoke to Todd before the game, and I said, how are you feeling, mate? Like, honestly, how are you feeling? He said, this is the reason, as a kid, you're out the back, putting yourself in these positions for game-winning shots, grand finals, or in this case, trying to extend a 35-year history of making finals.
Great to have you downstairs, Damien. Comes down to this. You can see that shot clock, game clock differential. This is normally Bryce Cotton time. He milks it down, sets it up. And he danced inside, floater off the glass, doesn't work. Southeast Melbourne Phoenix get the last chance at it, and tip was delightful from Pino with .something left.
Yes.
Wildcats win, they're in. They'll finish 4th and play finals. Wildcats lose, they're out. Missed the finals. Jack Jumpers are in. 25-20 with a quarter down. The final game of the regular season. And our final Kmart fan camp of the regular season. Today's winner of the $50 Kmart gift card, Leah Herbert. My hubby and I, Wildcat supporters, love coming to the games. Our way of life outside of the 9 to 5 life. And congratulations to you, Leah. Quarter time. Wildcats need to win this to keep their streak of 35 NBL seasons with finals running to a 36th. And they lead by 3 with a quarter down.
Bryce Cotton very patient. 0-3, 3 points in that quarter. But ultimately, they need to find a way to get him going as well.
Ashley dances in style.
This is what he can do, Brandon Ashley, as I mentioned. Can have a really good impact. Here's Simon Mitchell barking the instructions to try and lift the intensity on the defensive end. And this is a duo in bigs for the Phoenix that I think could have worked really well together all season. Brandon Ashley, we know he just tries to be aggressive on the offensive rebounds. He hangs around, pick up those fouls. But Dane Pinot does all the fundamental things where they'll be complete opposites the way they guard ball screens. When Brandon Ashley's flying around for an offensive rebound, Dane Pinot's going to get his nose in there, has a knack for just coming up with the ball.
Glidden, after Ashley pulled down the rebound while Peter Hurley was talking about him.
And there it is again. So Dane Pinot is just going to get in the way. He's going to try and find his way to the front. Mitch Norton has no other choice but to hold his arm and get called for the foul.
McCreek with a nudge, and you know he's on a mission as well. Mitch Creek, as we head back courtside. Damien Martin.
Yeah, I listened in a quarter time to Southeast Melbourne Phoenix, and a lot of the players were very vocal, led in particular by Kyle Adnam and Mitch Creek. Creaky was saying, guys, keep being relentless at the offensive end, but just make sure we're keeping our hands out. And then that was reiterated by all the players and coaches saying, hands out, take it on the chest, no more fouls. Obviously 9 fouls in the first quarter. They weren't too pleased about that.
Damo, I'm a little surprised at the intensity on the defensive end, being a little reactive. Sometimes we might lose it when we're watching it off the screen. How's it been down there?
Yeah, the D-trans in particular is one, and then a couple of open looks. Leafa's got by his player a couple of times, and usually you'd see someone step up early and then they drop defense so they can't give away an alley-oop. It's almost like they don't want to show they're nervous and they've taken a backward steps at times at the defensive end. As we see BC get upstairs for a two-hander, well-executed play there. But you're right, I'd love to see it. I know it's not part of the style anymore, their game plan. But when you've got a player like Mitch Norton, I'd love to say, mate, get out there. If you want to pick up full court, we'll back you. Instead, it's more of a half-court system right now. But, hey, if it works, it works.
Well, if they're going to have someone set the tone, it is Mitch Norton, as Damo said. He is that guy to really try and get up and in on the defensive end.
Been physical out there. Travers hands it up to Frazier. Munford to take it back down the floor. And a flop. Oh, no, Simon Mitchell called for it.
No, it's a blocking foul there.
Simon Mitchell going quickly asking, here's that play.
We sort of skimmed over this because Damo was talking. This is a 6-foot guy, no run-up, not a whole lot of runway to work with. Just goes off, no dribble, 1-2 step and goes it in and tucks it in with 2 hands. That is special. There's the blocking foul.
Yeah, Simon Mitchell scream flop. But you wouldn't expect anything else.
Are they sneaky hops, Bryce Cotton?
No, they are legit hops for a little fella.
Bryce Cotton off balance. That's what we expect from Bryce Cotton. When the going gets tough, the tough you'd expect will get going. Munford. Long range 2, all net.
That's where he has been good. And I think you're right, Gazy. I think the Phoenix over the course of the season didn't make enough emphasis of Xavier Munford. Sometimes started well, and then we talk about in the clutch, they've had a lot of issues in the clutch. I think both him and Creek, what a pass.
The feed was delightful.
I think both him and Mitch Creek had to be their 2 guys to really try and take over the games late in the 4th quarter.
Rebound pulled down by Majuk. Cotton. Just starting to heat up now, Bryce. Dances inside. He was in some trouble. Was out of control and lost it.
Here comes Bryce, a little pin down, stepping away, and we are for their trips. And he's trying to trail over it, but wasn't able to get there because he stumbled. And you give that man an inch, and he will take a mile. Is that the same?
I think so, yeah.
It is, but you can have whatever saying you want.
Yeah, you can go with kilometre. It's up to you.
Oh, that's true. But
I know you're thinking of 86. Last time the Wildcats missed the finals was way back then. Been a long while. 32-28 as it stands right now.
1986. That was pre-mobile phone internet stages, I think, wasn't it?
Probably, yes.
Hey, keep it tapping there, drops. How's the wind? You all right? Hey, Jay, stop blocking 5 there, double. Hey, you get the cotton, stand him out to the right side of the floor, off his left. Time down, trying to... Hey! Next time down, we got shake smash. Creaky setting the first one. Come off, back to Creaky straight away. DHO, 2-man game here if we can get it. If not, smash action on the next side. Be there, Dane. Here we go.
Still going to go with those little double high drags into trying to get some quick action. We talk about the back step to the Wildcats have started the game on the defensive end, but either way they just started, all the players were talking, and Ken Glynn, everyone popping up saying, Stanley Arthur's going to try and top lock Bryce Cotton, not let him use the screen, make him try and backdoor, and that's why they drew that play up where he got the dunk, expecting that's how they're going to try and defend Cotton. So it's all well and good to have a player lock in like Leafa's going to try and do, but the help defense has to be there.
Munford, they get it across. Craig, single figures left, shot clock, gets his way into the paint, out of control, put the shot up, rebound was pulled down and then stolen from Dane Pinot. White, Travers, White, a little bit of room to move to Bryce. He likes his chances from here.
Bit overzealous, Dane Pinot on the closeout. Only Arthur got hit on the screen. He had to go and help, but Bryce Cotton does that so well.
It's twice now that one time he had a little stumble, and that time, good screen. Have a look, it just gets caught, and actually wide open there. Perhaps a little bit of a confusion. Was there a breakdown there?
We got hit on the screen, and then Dane Pinot had to try and close out, but when you know you're going to be late, it's not your assignment. You're not trying to switch that, obviously. Uncharacteristically, Bryce Cotton misses the free throw. You've just got to either try and fly by or contest as much as you can without jumping forward. Bryce Cotton gets those fouls. Every time he shoots, his feet go forward. That's just the way he shoots the ball. There's a few of those guys in the league, Chris Golding, Mirko Jeric, those guys who, when they turn to catch the ball, that's just the way their momentum of their feet go into it. It's not like he's trying to cause the contact, so you've just got to land without getting in his way.
Munford to set it up again. So Creek. Leafa lost it for a second. Feeds to Creek. Again, single fig shot clock as he took on Kevin White and draws the foul.
Creek's been a little, only got the 4 points so far, and coming off not a great night by his standards either against the Adelaide 36ers.
Munford, all net with that. That was pretty.
He's a keeper. He's one that, when you're talking about either with the Phoenix or somewhere in the NBL, there is a spot for Xavier Munford. He's a high-quality player.
Travers hands it back to White. Cotton works hard for him. Travers, little up fake. And Euros his way to the bucket.
It's just a little bit of a breakdown there for Mitch Creek. They need to be closing out so hard to Luke Travers. Knocks down a couple, then you change what you're trying to do.
Turnover as well. Won't like the look of that, Mitch Creek, and the alley-oop attempt. It was a little too Hollywood. Little jab step was nice, and a floater on the run would have been pretty, but it rimmed straight back out. And the Wildcats pull it straight back down the floor. Cotton. Travers. Bryce has got it back. And again, he milks it down, single figures. Is this Cotton time? Hodgson Hooks it back in.
It's been good. Hudson played his role. The 5 boards.
Yafa. Pino.
Subs are at the bench ready to check in. There just hasn't been a whistle.
Everyone's up and down, dancing from the sideline.
Like a few of them are running in mud. Slowed right down for some of them.
Mitch Krieg from outside. That would have felt nice for Mitch.
The three-point shot hasn't deserted Mitch Krieg in the back half of the season, but compared to the clip he was shooting at in the first half, he was lights out.
Gave Travis some room as well. He has tempted him. Will he go again here, Mitch?
Oh, my.
Went for the second for the heat check. Bryce Cotton now. He likes his chances, and the alpha with the reach in.
Don't get us your position to get up. Sit down for me, please.
Yes, Mumford knocked down in the corner. He was asking for an extra one. Thought he got fouled. But I'm with you. I think Xavier Mumford will truly show that he belongs in the NBL.
Oh, my word. Is that a...
So now they're going to look at this potentially. So Isaiah Liafa, again, anytime someone's going to fly past you in semi-transition, if you put your hand up straight after, the referee's automatically thinking you're trying to foul. And that's exactly why they're going to have a look at this. Is this a basketball play, or are you legitimately trying to foul? So even if you are, which is what he was trying to do.
What's hard on this one, because you're in the front court and you say, well, I was just reaching across to have a swipe at the ball.
But we know there's a right way to do it, and there's a strong chance this could get upgraded, because if he's going to do that, he was in front at the moment. He's got to go with his left shoulder and try and bump Bryce Cotton rather than look like he's going to have that little wraparound. As soon as you put your hand up, though.
Surely we can't upgrade this one. That's enough of a play on the ball there in the half court, because we see that action.
The call on the floor has been reviewed. The call has been upgraded to an unsportsmanlike foul criteria 1. No
exactly
play at the
right.
ball. We resume with 2 shots and possession.
He hurt himself because he put his hand straight up, saying, that's what I'm trying to do. I'm tired. Let's stop the break. And that's probably the reason why the referee's like, hang on, let's have another look at this. Whereas if you just have a little slap at it, it's called.
Well, to me, I thought you could make the argument that when someone's there and you just reach to try and...
It's always, when you go in that right arm, when it could potentially be a hug, is when it's always going to be hard to overturn with the letter.
But it wasn't a hug.
Well, no, but if Bryce Cotton decides to take one more step inside, then it'll end up being a nice little embrace.
You're the man. You're the man.
Just read the rules.
I got it wrong.
Just read the rules.
The argument's fun.
I might as well get it wrong in game 140.
Peter Hooley taking on the greatest of all time. Here's Scott Morrison.
It's a good break right here. Okay, Todd, Mike, Mitch, Jook, BC, okay? Ball's over there. Wait for him. Okay, dive. Maybe we get something, probably not. The big's gonna be right here anyway, okay? Then Mitch is popping up. Hit here. Mike, you're going right to the rim, okay? Jook, ball screen for Mitch. Mike's replacing to the top, and that show. Get out quick, Mike's out. Todd's here, BC's here. We're gonna have a dunk right there, okay?
Well, either way.
Just set up a play on that one, just talking about this specific possession, and he's right. Make a couple of free throws, get another basket. It's a big penalty for that upgraded foul.
Well, either way, how are you supposed to do that in transition if you want a foul? You know, one man that's telling you to move your feet, get in the way. Scott Roth, he's screaming at the TV saying, come on, move your feet, just a quick little foul. We don't need none of the sportsmanlikes out here.
So the free throws and possession now for the Wildcats.
And the Phoenix blow that play up set by coming out and showing a zone.
From outside the arc, all net with that as well. And they're up off the Wildcats bench. They know how important it is that Frazier plays a role. No Vic Law for the Wildcats in this one. They win this game, they're in. Playoffs again. Lose, Jack Jumpers are in. Joe Chi out to Munford. You can hear Simon Mitchell's frustration. He got the call,
My bad.
but he wasn't happy still that he didn't get the call in the opening quarter. Munford well outside the arc and drops it.
He just fell asleep.
He
Maybe
did.
Munford up to 12 points now. Hit 2 threes. But that was as easy as you like. Just when you look like Perth, you put the foot down towards halftime.
Done it a couple of times now, the Wildcats. Looks like they're going to stretch the margin out. And then Southeast Melbourne Phoenix fight back, as that was a hard fight from Mitch Norton to get his way to the bucket there.
Crafty from the little fella, used the rim, went to the other side of the rim, used the rim as a little bit of protection.
Joe Chi got it from Munford, got his way past them and draws the foul.
That's going to count.
And count it.
Because he collected the ball, it looked like it was a long time after. It was the two
It's because his step takes a second and a half.
the loping steps that made it a little different.
It's a 2-metre step.
One.
Looked pretty through the air.
That's what Simon Mitchell's wanted right now. Throw the ball to Joe Chi. He's been barking for a couple of fouls to be called. Juk trying to be a bit physical.
Margin was 3 at quarter time. It's 5 now.
Lockie Barker getting the assignment here on Bryce Cotton with 2.5 to go in the second quarter.
Bryce hands it over. Gets it back from a metre outside. Joe Chi the rebound. Munford. Under the bucket. That was nice as well. Ruben Tarangi with the cut.
They need to figure out what they're going to do on these on-ball screens. They're getting to the rim either with the penetration, or if there's any that time the help comes late and the rotations are not there, easy opportunities for the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix.
Blanchfield giving him plenty of room to move and can't finish. Gets it back. Cotton danced past them, part the seas, put in a big 2 on the float.
Offensive rebound. First thing you've got to do when you're playing against the Wildcats, that ball comes back into a Wildcats hand. You've got to find Bryce Cotton. He's either going to tee off or put the ball straight on the floor. Up to 14 points now.
Munford from long range. Little push.
White 7.
Tarangi called for that. 1:34 left to halftime. Phoenix first game at RAC Arena in Perth this season. Did win here the last time they were here. Met a couple of times this season, both times in Melbourne. 1 win each between these two this season. If you've joined us late, this is the final game of the regular season. Game 140 of 140. And for the 6th NBL season in a row, it comes down to the last game to decide the top 4. Hodgson pulls it out. Blanchfield. Cotton. Little hesitation. Krieg. Mitch wants it back. Cotton stares him down. And pocket picked. Wagstaff. Bang! Blocking foul.
I thought he might have played it pretty well.
I thought he played it really well. Glidden got his feet. Maybe heels might have been touching that no charge line, perhaps, but
You hear the referee in the background saying you grabbed his arm anyway, which is what I thought the foul was originally going to be called, and still moving just a little bit at the end.
just come down on the arm as well. So that angle clearly showed that that was a correct call and a good call.
You 0 for 2.
Having a good day.
It's only early.
I'm still not convinced that that first one I was wrong on. The outcome didn't go my way, but I won't die wondering though. We'll still have a crack.
Big second half to come from you too, Andrew Gaze. Marker. Glidden. Little hole. Hodgson called for it on Joe Chi. The big men tangle. And Simon Mitchell was told his input wasn't required.
That's right.
2 fouls on Hodgson, 2 fouls on Frazier. Joe Chi. Home crowd looking for some free Hungry Jacks if they can get it.
Only a 61% free throw shooter on the season, so they're a reasonable chance to tuck into some burgers for free.
Smith-Milner checking in for Joe Chi. He's got the 2 fouls. Protect him this last 40 seconds. That made him a big focus. Good timeout here. A 2-for-1 opportunity potentially if they can draw something up quick enough.
Well, that's right. And sometimes it's, you know, if you're not getting a good shot on a 2-for-1 possession, then the purpose of the 2-for-1, I think, is a little overrated. You go, okay, you want a quick shot, but not at the expense of throwing up some rubbish that has very little chance to get in.
Love it when the coach comes out, don't you, Pete?
Well, so he's right, though. So often if you hear someone yell out 2-for-1, whether it's one of your teammates or a coach, the first thing you're thinking of, I'm going to walk into a 3 and just let it fly. It's kind of like a free one, but then your defense doesn't get set up. They run down, get an easy one, and it's kind of pointless anyway. So a little timeout here to try and draw something up.
So final game of the regular season comes down to this as to who finishes 4th. If Perth win this game and finish 4th, tickets for their home games for the semis will go on sale tonight, straight after this game. If Perth lose, tickets for Jack Jumpers fans for their home semi-final games will go on sale Wednesday.
Either one of those, it's not going to take long before those fans will jump on board and want to be a part of the playoff action.
See if they go for this 2-for-1 opportunity. Norton quickly down the floor, hands it over. Well, that wasn't rubbish put up. That was a genuine good shot to put up by Michael Frazier.
He's hit 4 threes now to leave him wide open in the corner, knowing how quickly they're going to try and go to get that shot.
So you can see that shot clock, game clock differential. They'll get it back. Smith-Milner from outside lands it. Huge. Cotton just out of his reach. Had to go and get it. Step back. Cotton time. Puts up the impossible. Half-time, 52-46. Wildcats played finals the last 35 NBL seasons, an Australian professional sport record. It's on the line in the second half to come, and they lead at a half-time. 1 half in the bank, 52-46. Damian Martin.
I'm here with Michael Frazier, who's been big time for the Wildcats, in particular at the offensive end. What's your take on the first 20 minutes?
We're moving the ball. Biggest thing is we got to keep getting stops so we can get in transition, get easy shots, keep knocking them down.
And what do you expect to hear from Scott Morrison at halftime?
Keep doing what we're doing. Lock in a little bit more on the defensive end. They got a few offensive rebounds. Clean that up. But, you know, just keep playing hard.
Best of luck in the second half, mate.
Wildcats need to keep playing hard. Southeast Melbourne Phoenix, their final game of the season. You wouldn't think they'd leave anything in the tank. A half to come. Great to have your company for some Hungry Jacks NBL22 hoops.
Okay.
Got half the job done. The Perth Wildcats, 52-46 at the half as we have a look at the Hungry Jacks NBL22 halftime highlights.
It is. Well, the Phoenix, they came out and they looked like they were playing coming in here to win. They weren't just going through the motions and really took it up for the Wildcats. Felt there was 2 or 3 times in this game where the Wildcats had a chance to establish a really significant lead. But to the Phoenix's credit, they were able to work their way back into it. Travis came off the bench and gave them a little something. This is the story of the half, though. Fraser, he's had his best game of the season a couple of games ago against the Cairns Taipans, and after everything he's been through, he's paying dividends. In this one here, in the most important game, there you see the 12 points. Bryce Cotton hasn't done it all that efficiently. 3 of 11 from the field. Mumford's been very good. Ashley's came on, still got those fouls. And you look at the field goal percentages of the South East Melbourne Phoenix at 40. Well, let's round it up, 46%. That's solid, both from the three-point line and the field. A little down for the Wildcats, but have a look at the free throws. They're finding a way to get to the free throw line, and that's been the difference. Outside of that, it's been pretty even.
I think you're spot on with the fact that I think Perth let the Phoenix off the hook. I thought they potentially should be up about 12, 13, 14 points. They had the chance to break the game open. There was some lapses on the defensive end. Mumford hits a 3. They let Smith-Milner step into a 3-ball at the end. But this game should be a lot more than 6 points right now. So if you're Phoenix, you're hanging around. Wildcats, they're in the box seat, but it's going to be a huge 20 minutes.
So does it come down to Bryce in the second half?
Wow.
It's come down to Bryce every single game. I mean, that's just who Bryce Cotton is, and you'd expect that. He's got 14 points on 3 of 11. He's getting to the free throw line. That was his first made field goal. 7 of 8 from the line, so he's getting there. He's making plays happen, and you're right. There's 20 minutes to go in potentially the season, or if you want to make finals, you live and die by Bryce Cotton right now. I mean, you've done it for so long. He's one of the greatest of all time, and that's why you've got to get him the ball in positions to be successful. And I think if you're the Phoenix, you've got to let him off the hook a little bit with offensive rebounds. If he gives the ball up, if you're Isaiah after the #1 defender, don't let him get it back.
Well, he's only 1 of 6 from the three-point line, and that's because they've been contested, but he's the sort of player, it doesn't matter what the numbers say, when it gets to that second half and the game's on the line, what's happened beforehand is not going to deter him from making sure that the ball's in his hands, and he's going to take matters into his own hands.
Speaking of goats, Damien Martin courtside. How are you seeing it from your angle, Damien?
Yeah, I completely agree. The free throw has been the biggest difference in the game. You take that away and anything could be happening right now on the scoreline. But instead of the 14 points, I want to focus on the 5 assists that Bryce has got, because the reality is he can't score enough on his own. He has to bring other guys into it, and he's done such a thing, as has Mitch Norton. The penetration from Norto's been fantastic. The kickouts to Michael Fraser and the offensive rebounding from the big guys in particular. You know, Majuk, Hodgson, I think those 2 guys have kind of been the unsung hero for the Wildcats in the first time. On the flip side, the Phoenix have to be happy with where they're situated, because as they addressed at the end of the first quarter, keep their hands out, don't put the referees in a position to potentially call a foul, and they're looking pretty good if they can keep their hands out, not send them to the free throw line, and limit the Wildcats to 1 shot. We certainly have a ball game on our hands, and one team certainly needs this more than the other. But Scotty Roth has already messaged me through saying, give me some love. Scott, I can only imagine how nervous you are right now, mate. I'm thinking of you, but that's as far as I go when it comes to giving you the love just right now.
Well, speaking of Scott Roth, I mean, that's a really strong defensive unit, the Jack Jumpers. Defensively for the Wildcats, what do you want to see from them? Looked like the Phoenix got whatever they wanted with a simple pick and roll. They could get into the heart. Xavier Mumford, he's been exceptional in the first half.
You're exactly right. Between the pick and roll defense being clear and precise and early on it, making sure you're getting in a stance early, they need to lift that. The straight up penetration as well. The Arthur's created a few times for some easy drop-offs to Ashley or kick-outs. But then I did love that Scott Morrison called a timeout with a free throw pending, and they finally got into a full court press, a 1-2-2 where they trapped the ball. Now, they didn't get a steal from that, but then they ran it a second time, and both times it just takes the Phoenix out of their positions. They can't walk it up, get into their style of play, call the offense, get the ball to the guys they want. Instead, they were rushed and sped up, and it resulted in 2 stops. So I want to see the Wildcats junk it up a little bit, and don't be afraid to throw out a press.
And 52 points is a big number for the Wildcats, particularly when you look at their points they've been able to get over the last 6 or 7 games. And we asked the question before the start of the game, who's going to step up? Fraser has done a great job, 4 threes. But Toddy Blanchfield, again, only 0 of 4, 0 of 2 from the three-point line. We touched on this throughout the course of the game. They haven't needed him so far as putting points on the board. How do they get this man going?
Well, I dare say they're going to run some sets early for him just to be able to build his confidence, get him an easy one. And then if I was Nord, I'd be putting my arm around and saying, mate, what is your favourite play that we run? As soon as you're out there and I've got the ball, let's get into it. We back you, mate.
Damo will be coming to you straight away when we come back from the break. One half of regular season basketball left in the season. Fourth spot heading into the finals decided after this break. Half of basketball left in game 140 of 140 in the regular season. Jack Jumper fans watching, they need a Wildcat loss to make the finals in their first season in the competition, which would be unbelievable. And I think the Wildcats might miss. Also unbelievable. That's what's on the line in this second half as Hodgson is stripped. See if the Phoenix can get some momentum back early in this third and upset the Wildcats apple cart here. Glidden. Mitch Creek, he could be a dominant force in this second half. Hands it up. Liafa. Glidden from way outside, off balance. Raise you the rebound. They get the stop.
And that was a better defensive set in regards to just the intensity, the ball pressure. A lot more what I was expecting to see. When I came into this one, I was not expecting it to be a 52-46 scoreline at half-time. I was thinking it was going to be more playoff-type intensity on the defensive end. And
Creek can't get the putback to fit.
a couple of let-offs. Easy baskets. not going away, the Phoenix.
You're the Wildcats. Michael Fraser's just got to keep doing what he's doing, because he starts to fill it up a little bit more. They're going to be worried about where he is, and that's going to give Bryce Cotton a little bit more free rein down the stretch.
Munford. Liafa. That'll do.
Didn't let them off there.
I needed that.
Cam Glidden had a good look in the corner. Mitch Creek a layup off that, so they were due to hit one eventually.
They had some really good looks, and that'll be concerning for the Perth Wildcats.
Blanchfield had it stolen.
I heard Damo talk at halftime about Top Blanchfield. I'm not sure just a simple down screen and telling him to try and make a play off the ball screen is the way to try and get him going. Maybe coming off a double stagger down or something that he gets a good look, or put him in the strong side corner of Bryce Cotton using the ball screen where he might get a kickback three.
Hodgson had 3 to beat under the bucket. Craig. Munford. Carved his way through them and floats it down.
We see there is a semi-transition. It wasn't a quick one, but even with that, you're left with a mismatch with Hodgson having to guard Munford. Now, there should be a level of desperation where that doesn't happen. Not when it's it's not a walk-up, but it's a semi-transition, and you've got Hodgson trying to guard Munford. He goes straight by him. It's way too deep before he sees any sort of help, and that's relatively easy for Munford.
Munford can get there anytime he wants. He's shown that all season long.
Well,
he's so good at getting to the free throw line or lower. Loves to get to that mid-range shot as well, but you're right, Casey, just a little bit of desperation. That's why there's a timeout here quickly from Scott Morrison. They've got to fix that on the defensive end. You mentioned how you thought a bit much with the game on the line. It's the season on the line.
Yeah.
To be able to come out here and stand to your authority. They had numerous moments, 2 or 3 moments in that first half where it looked like they could run away with the game. And they fell asleep on the defensive end. Phoenix either hit a 3 or got an offensive rebound.
And Damo was right earlier on.
He's very rarely wrong.
Who?
Damo.
I can't remember the last time he was wrong. But I think he was even more right, if there is such a thing, in regards to set the tone with your defense, get Nordo to meet him up the floor, and that pressure and ball pressure, one can push them out of their offense a little bit to get in the preferred spots, but also sets the tone. When you see your guys up the front picking them up, putting that ball pressure on, sets the tone for the entire team.
Pocket picked. Mitch Krieg hands it up and called for it.
That's always going to happen. Mitch Norton, he's so good at doing that. He's going to call a charge, the quick turnover. But I'm with you, and look, if it's not going to be called from the bench, I think Mitch Norton can take it on himself to be like, look, this is what I'm good at. I want to keep the ball out of Xavier Munford's hands. So Mitch Krieg, good read here, and Mitch Norton was always going to get in position to take a charge, and he did that perfectly.
Well, they're junking up. They've got this little token pressure, and then they sort of in a 1-3-1 for might be the first couple of passes, and ends up they match up, but they're just trying to junk up their defense a little bit, the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix.
Joe Chi backs his way in. That's a tough hook. Didn't get lucky. Norton flies past. Ran into Joe Chi, gave it up to Blanchfield. All part of the grand plan. Did well there, he knew he had help.
Tell you what, Simon Mitchell, I'm not sure what he's unhappy about. There's Munford getting to his spot, that's money. I think he's upset that Cam Glidden had a chance to take a charge on that play from Mitch Norton, because he said, you know they're going to call it, just turned his body, and in the end, Mitch Norton had a little dump-off pass. But he's right, it looked like there was a perfect opportunity to just put your body on the line, take it through the chest, get a charge called.
Mitch Norton. Bryce Cotton got inside, wants to step back 3 as an idea. Got inside again, floats it off the glass. Didn't work. Munford, they can tie it up here, the Phoenix. Go to the line for a couple of free throws and can make it a 1-point game with 6 minutes left in the third. And the longer the Wildcats lead the Phoenix in this one, the more dangerous it gets.
Spot on, and they haven't been great, the Perth Wildcats. This home stretch of their last 7. They've only won 2 of their last 7 at home. It's extraordinary. And to no surprise, the last time they didn't have a winning record at home was back in 1986, the season that they missed out on the playoffs.
Well, we talk a lot about them being in this position. They shouldn't have been in this position. They lost to the Jack Jumpers at home. That was one they probably should have won. And then lost to the 36ers and got outplayed for nearly the whole game as Todd Blanchfield finally hits one, raises the arms. That could have been descent. That could have been 50 metres.
A little bit of breathing space now, which is nice. That's a tough attempt at the foul. So the Wildcats have lost here 6 times this season. First time ever in a regular season that's happened to the Wildcats. But they can fix it all, win this, into the playoffs. And you always have to beat Perth to win the whole thing if you're in the playoffs.
You can understand why it'd be so tough, because of this venue, look at it, you got the sea of red and all the emotion. And it's a tough place to, historically been a tough place to win games. And this season, back to when they had that big long road stretch of games, and you think we got the last 9, was it 9? I think it 9 at home. Thinking, well, they're going to be vying for top spot. It just hasn't come together for them on their home deck.
A few missed free throws as well. Travers, Blanchfield, Travers drew a crowd, turned it over. Munford, little jab step in, floats it off the glass. Crazy good.
He is in his bag. Xavier Munford, 19 points, 8 of 13 from the field. He's got 6 assists and 4 rebounds. He is putting on a show.
Blanchfield, he found a gap where there wasn't one. Carved his way past them in a layup.
Damien Martin mentioned about getting him going. You got that little layup in transition, and he saw the ball go in the hoop. He was 0-5 before that. Then he knocks down the 3, and that time there, parting of the red suit, everything opens up for him for an easy 2, but it's those easy ones to get yourself going. And another sloppy turnover.
All net from Liafa.
Well, they've had how many turnovers just in this third quarter of just sloppiness, as Gazy said. Just simple mistakes, and Phoenix have made them pay.
So in the blink of an eye, it's a 1-point game. Bryce Cotton time. He can't fill it. Joe Chi, huge rebound. Phoenix can take the lead.
Make no mistake, if they hang around in the fourth quarter, the last 5 minutes, Xavier Munford, that was ambitious. Speak about nerves, they're going to get very anxious, and here's the turnover. It's a good pass. Bryce Cotton, Majuk was just behind him, and Azalea Liafa just steps into it casually as you like, knocks down his third 3 of the game. But that's the last thing you want. You want to give yourself a little bit of a buffer going into the fourth quarter so that your nerves and anxiousness don't tighten up.
Not the finish, though. Brandon Ashley did the hard work. Couldn't complete the deal. Norton found a hole and got a very, very handy 2.
That was a great body position by Majuk. Majuk just created that hole for him to get to.
Liafa.
Well,
that was tough.
In my opinion, this is the biggest little stretch here of the game for the Wildcats. Bryce Cotton off the floor. Blanchfield had just got going. He sat down as well.
Off the feed and the rejection. Joe Chi all the way up there and got a hand on it.
Interesting. If you have a look at that.
Had a hint of offensive goaltender. I thought it might have hit the board.
The crowd didn't voice their disapproval loud enough for that noise of affirmation for the refs.
Well, that looks like pretty clear cut from full speed.
Joe Chi again having a massive impact in the last couple of minutes. And again, the Phoenix can tie it up. What does Liafa want to do here? Joe Chi, what does he want to do? Gets into the paint, tough hook. A little too flat, came straight back at him. Might be Frazier's moment to take control. Drive his way in, off balance 2. Wow.
He's been tough, Frazier. He's going to have to be the one with no Blanchfield and Bryce Cotton on the floor. Let's have another look at this. Joe Cheese, a couple blocks. That one was the...
Couldn't tell from that angle whether it actually hit the board. And here's Joe Chi just using his length against Majuk.
Back to a 5-point margin. It was 3 at quarter time. It was 6 at half time. It's 5 right now. And Xavier Mumford could be the difference between the Wildcats making the finals again and not.
Well, he gets wherever he wants on the offensive end. And to be honest, he's done that pretty regularly all season long. He's got 6 assists to get other players involved, but it's right here. Turns the corner, uses the ball screen really well. Gets anywhere below the free throw line or below. Has a little floater, a little mid-range jump shot. And he's really filling it up. 19 points, 8 of 15 from the field. He's got 4 rebounds, 6 assists. Having himself some sort of game.
He is, but you look at those highlights and so many times, a little bit of miscommunication there. Not everyone connected, and he's had to create to get a lot of his own shots, but a lot of the times, just some tentative defense. Not really in that complete lockdown mode that they need to be.
I say that, Bryce Cott's back in the game. Mitch Norton straight away got full court and just denied the ball to Xavier Mumford. Let Kyle Adnan bring the ball up. So there's one little adjustment they've made, trying to keep it out of Mumford's hands.
Joe Chi. And jams it after the reach in.
That's a grown man move. Joe Chi. Making him a focus, and he's out there.
It is, and Hodgson just needs to square him up. Saw when he's taking those little hooks and outside the paint, he's far less effective than when they allow him to get to the rim.
Can't put the free throw in. Courtside, Damian Martin.
As soon as that timeout was called, we saw Mitch Norton and Jesse Wagstaff go straight to the referee and say that had to be a goaltender. I think they may have had a look at it. And the referee, as Frazier drops another 3 and continued his form, I think the referee might have had a looked at it. And I don't know what the date of today is, but I want to get the date and the time, because I think he came out and said, you know what, I got that one wrong.
Well, it definitely looked like it. It looked like it hit the board first, but it wasn't called. Michael Frazier is having some sort of game right now.
And the reverse after the feed from Joe Chi for Ruben Tarangi.
He's falling asleep on the weak side.
Every time they seem to make a big play, the Wildcats, they just fall asleep on the defensive end.
Phoenix hanging around. Kyle Adnam. And double dribble. Wild Kyle. Getting some valuable court time right now. 1:43 left to 3/4 time. Hodgson. Hodgson. Shot clock down to 4. He's going to have to do something. And it's still a Wildcats ball. 1. No, it's not.
Yeah,
It is.
1.2 left.
1.2 left.
It's great defense from Brandon Ashley. 0.7 left. Still got time to catch and shoot, but you've got to be quick. I'm going to have a quick look at this. There you go. 0.7 on the floor, on the clock.
Good.
Is it time for a tip only?
You can catch and shoot. It's got to be a real clean look. Sure, 0.7 on the clock. Matt Hodgson is the right play, but
Adnam back to Mumford. Draws a crowd, half the glass. The putback was crazy good as well from Brandon Ashley. And suddenly, in the blink of an eye, they're threatening to take the lead, the Phoenix.
No box out. Game fundamentals there. Just
that's
could be unsportsmanlike.
They very well might be an unsportsmanlike. Handful of the jersey.
Yeah, when I thought that was a standard, it has to be an unsportsmanlike, doesn't it?
I think they're going to absolutely upgrade this. There you go. And that's Slater of the law. Just hand on the jersey. He's caught out of position.
But how do you expect to get away with it? I mean, there's certain things you'll do that you think, you know, this is worth the risk, because they may not catch it. But there is no possible chance of that being missed.
Well, he sent Matt Hodgson to the line, so maybe he knew what he was doing.
Oh, wow.
Not when you know. You can send him to the free throw line without pulling his jumper, his jersey, and then not only getting the 2 free throws, but also getting possession.
I was joking. Oh. But you're right, though. He's right in front of the referee, and he just wasn't in position. So that's, I mean, they're letter of the law. You just can't pull that jersey back when you're not in position. And Matt Hodgson hits 1 of 2. They get the ball back.
And he's when you fall into that need to foul someone, he's absolutely that. Before tonight's game, he was 13 of 31, 41.9% from the free throw line.
He's done well to knock that second one down there.
He'll be really happy you mentioned it. That's a tough shot. Big rebound pulled down by Ruben Tarangi. Inside the last minute, Kyle Adnam hasn't put a lot up. See what he wants to do here. Hands it over, Pinot. Liafa. And
great hands.
Wildcats ball.
Great hands from Bryce Cotton. That possession from the Phoenix, just playing around the 3-point line. No one really trying to attack. We spoke a little bit in the last quarter about going 2 for 1. It didn't look like it was an option there. Wildcats have a chance to get a little momentum into 3/4 time.
Norton doesn't want to waste this possession. As we wind our way towards 3/4 time, you can see that shot clock, game clock differential to the Phoenix. We'll get it back. Hodgson, Pinot, Hodgson, Pinot. Shot clock winding down. Hodgson gets it back again. Put it up. Seconds tick down. Phoenix last shot coming up. On the run. Tried the banker. Didn't work. 3/4 time. And it comes down to this. 1 quarter left in game 140 of 140 to decide who finishes 4th. Quarter to play at RAC Arena. And one of the world's longest professional league sporting streaks is on the line in this last quarter. 35 NBL seasons in a row the Wildcats have played finals. Can they make it 36 in a row? They win, they're in. They lose, the Jack Jumpers are in.
A lot of nervous people down in the upper aisle. 10 minutes to go. Either away. It's just been an outstanding season from everybody involved in the Jack Jumpers organisation. They don't want it to be over just yet.
Pino, Liafa, the sidestep, the rim out. Bryce Cotton. Will he take control of this and get his team home, as he so often does? Frazier. From outside the arc. Pino with the rebound. Mitch Creek. Does he take control here? And foul on his way. Can't see Mitch Creek leaving anything in the tank. He's got 1 quarter of basketball left in his season.
Well, they haven't gone to him a lot. He's played 19 minutes, only 2 of 7 from the field. So he hasn't seen a lot of touches. He's 2 of 2 from the free throw line, so this is only the second time he finds his way to the free throw line.
I thought they'd get him a little bit more involved in this game, considering no Vic Law. It would have been his direct matchup.
Well, they started that way. You saw the first couple of possessions of the game. They tried to put him on the box, and he was 1 of 2 in that, but we haven't seen him go back to that too much often since then.
Travis takes it down the floor. Tarangi was in his grill. Frazier. Crowd trying to urge their guys on. Bryce took it on. Hasn't quite found his magic just yet.
It is, and it just looks so laboured. The last couple of possessions, there hasn't been an opportunity for anything cheap. Come down, a little one-on-one move by Frazier. That time, get it to Bryce and let him go from the three-point line. And it's just the half-court execution by the Wildcats, not great. This is where they can open it up in transition.
Blanchfield, that's huge.
That's a long 2. Foot on the line, but Blanchfield, he's in their double figures right now. They need that, and it seems no team really wants to just take this game and run away with it. Perth's had a chance. Phoenix have had multiple chances to get their nose in front.
Adnam puts it up. Straight back at you from Kyle Adnam.
They will not go away.
They will not at all.
And the longer this goes, the more nervous the Wildcats might get. Fans are a little nervous. They're still up. Floater from Cotton drops. They need a little luck. They need a little bit of Bryce magic.
Well, that's what they were speaking about early in the timeout of the game. Talking about if they're going to front guard Bryce Cotton, top lock him, not let him use screens or touch the ball. That back door's on. So Azalea Liafa's doing what he has to. The rest of the team have to be there to help him out. And here's a lineup that the Phoenix are going. Mitch Creek's out of this game right now. You've got Dane Pinot playing the 5, and then Cam Glidden's going to play the 4. Liafa, Munford, and Adnam. They're very small up against Majuk and Travers. Todd Blanchfield will get in there on the boards as well. Small lineup here for the Phoenix.
Pinot. Munford gets it back. Takes on Cotton. Tough shot. And they're up off the Wildcat bench as well. Can they put a little space between them and the Phoenix? Little knock from Mumford, but it's still a Wildcats ball.
That's just expected. Quick sub here from Simon Mitchell, give a bit more height in there. Smith Milner coming into the game. Just played under a minute, but knocked down that 3.
Travis with the inbound. Norton back to Travis. Almost tempting him to take the shot. Blanchfield's been the man. Not this time. Pinot the rebound.
There must be something wrong with Creek or something, because he hasn't really imposed himself, and now they take him out of the game in a pretty important time. He's only played the 20 minutes.
Even Joe Chi was starting to have a bit of an impact. He's only played the 14 minutes, hasn't picked up another foul. Kyle Adnam coming straight back into the game for Liafa. So then main matchup for Bryce Cotton's going to sit down. Interesting lineup here from Simon Mitchell. 7 minutes to go.
Yeah, this is a strange...
Yes, they're key guys. I mean, Joe Chi, Mitch Creek. Mumford's still out there. He's been by far their best player tonight.
Floater from Kyle Adnam. And the tip Outstanding from Smith Milner. That's why he's out there.
That's what he said.
He's got 5 points in a minute, so
Yeah.
racking them up.
But it is an interesting bench for the Phoenix. Just 6 minutes and 45 left in their season. Bryce Cotton, step back three. So the Phoenix can take the lead back here. Smith Milner hands it up. Glidden back to Adnam. Mumford's in the corner. Adnam danced in.
Jeez.
Puts it up himself, and it goes. Look out.
He danced in, got to his spot, and made just a nice little chip shot with really no pressure.
And that's his shot, isn't it? When he gets in lows, Michael Frazier trying to make things happen.
Talked about 6 minutes left in the Phoenix season. If the Wildcats lose this, it's 6 minutes left in their season too.
And the end of an incredible streak. And you mentioned it's a record in the NBL, Dwayne. I'm not too sure there'd be too many at the elite level in the world where an organisation has reeled off 35 seasons in the playoffs.
The more you say it, the more you think, the more ridiculous it sounds. It's a huge credit to them. Michael Frazier gets 1 of 2, but here you go for the Wildcats fans to take a bit of pressure off.
Scott Morrison, first season at the helm. He's under some pressure as well. Adnam the feed. Ashley draws the foul.
The Perth Wildcats this season, when leading at three-quarter time, 15 wins and 0 losses.
Wow.
So that's going to continue. Well, it's going to be the last game it doesn't happen. Good little pocket pass, and this happened all game. Just that simple ball screen, just make the right read out of it. They've either had a jump shot in the mid-range or just a little dump-off pass.
Left it short.
Bryce is the one. Bryce is 4 of 16, only 1 of 9. And check this out. Today is the first game at RAC Arena this year that Bryce did not score in the third quarter. So there's some funky things going on in this game. And that's what pressure does.
So it's a 6 minute game right now. 75 apiece. 6 minutes left. Bryce Cotton. He draws a crowd to Blanchfield, to Frazier from the corner. No.
Both teams, as we spoke about it, Phoenix have had multiple chances to take the lead and just can't come up with a bucket, and Wildcats have had a chance to extend their margin, just cannot do it.
Ashley, it's getting dangerous now for the Wildcats.
Getting nervous.
A few wide open looks, and after seeing that game yesterday with the Jack Jumpers, right now, I know that the Jack Jumpers are barracking their heart out for the Phoenix to give them a chance to get in there. If I'm a Melbourne United fan, I'm barracking like anything for the Wildcats to win, because based on what we've seen here, the Jack Jumpers are going to be a much tougher proposition come playoff time than the Perth Wildcats.
Bryce Cotton steps in, hands it out, and that rims out from the hand of Norton.
Great box out from Brandon Ashley. The Phoenix get a chance to extend this lead. 5 minutes to go in the fourth quarter.
Adnam from the corner.
Oh, boy.
Oh, they're enjoying this.
Oh, my.
The Phoenix. It's their grand final. 75-80. Do not go anywhere. 5 minutes left from history. Minutes left, and either the Wildcats streak continues, the Wildcats streak ends, or the unthinkable Tasmania Jack Jumpers make the finals in their first season in the competition.
Oh, I am starting to get a little nervous. Casey, I know you don't get nervous too often, but just for what's on the line. Perth Wildcats, quick timeout here from Scott Morrison. I mean, they've had good looks. Plenty of wide open
great looks.
You wouldn't ask for any more. And besides Mitch Norton, it's been their main guys. Bryce Cotton, Todd Blanchfield, Michael Frazier, who's hit 5 threes tonight. Just haven't knocked him down. And what's let him down all game has been on the defensive end. So if you're not knocking down shots, Well, 5 minutes to go in the regular season. And what?
Well, this is the biggest lead of the game for the Phoenix, and it looks like a real tentative and nervous Perth Wildcats. They've had their last 3 possessions, great wide-open looks that they haven't been able to knock down. And
to who they want as well. Todd Blanchfield, Michael Frazier, all these guys, they want shooting the ball. Just haven't knocked them down. And you know, their Achilles heels in defense. Wagstaff coming on, trying to make something happen.
One of their all-time greats had to save them there. Damien Martin.
Yeah, listening on the Phoenix timeout, and Simon Mitchell was as relaxed as you could think of. He was sitting back in his chair, legs crossed. He loves what he's seeing out there, right? Just implored his teammates, his players, to get out there, stay aggressive at the offensive end. And just a quick shout out to Kyle Adnam. Because of how good we've seen some of his teammates, in particular Munford and Leafa. We haven't seen a whole lot of Kyle, but he's been the game changer in the last 3 or 4 minutes. The Wildcats are going to have to contain him if they want to have any hope in these last few minutes.
He's only played 11 minutes. We mentioned right at the start of the program, the last month or so, his minutes have been reduced significantly, but he's stepped up. He's 4 of 6 from the field for their 11 points, and a couple of big threes in this quarter that's got the Perth Wildcats fans' heart just pumping a little quicker than it normally would.
They're going to have to play some defense down the stretch. They haven't done it so far this game. Yes, they're missing shots. If they're not making those wide-open shots, then they've got to lock up, because Phoenix really, when they don't rush anything or force anything, whatever they want to get to on the offensive end, they're getting it. And that's been their issue. We talk about the season coming down to this game. It should never have got there. They shouldn't have lost that game to Tassie a few weeks ago. They definitely shouldn't have lost to Adelaide the way they did on their home floor.
Bryce hasn't quite worked for him tonight yet, but there's still 4 minutes for him to make it work, and you can see his frustration.
Kyle Adnam called for the foul on that rebound, and again, very early on, a simple on-ball screen. They're not, usually you see it that they get some ball and man movement, get Bryce coming off 2 or 3 picks before he shoots it.
Bryce, not fouled, but gets the 2. Three-point game. Kyle Adnam, as Damien Martin told you, has been a difference maker. Crowd getting really nervous. Many of them still up out of their seats as Wild Kyle hits another.
Wow. Well, we question what the lineup is they've got out. Mitch Creek going to the scorer's bench now. What he's got is guys who are making plays off the dribble. Maybe that's Simon Mitchell looking at exactly where they've had success. Coming off the ball screen, these are guys who are always going to get to their spot.
Foul on the putback attempt by Majuk. Here comes Mitch.
Kyle's in the zone. Have a look at this. They chase over, and just a soft switch. He's kind of in a drops, and Bryce Cotton not able to get there to really put any sort of significant ball pressure on it. And when you've already knocked down a couple and you're playing with the house's money, it's a lot easier to make those 3 balls. As Majuk just gets a real friendly bounce on the free throw. Next couple of possessions, vital on the defensive end for the Perth Wildcats.
Munford, who's been awesome. Adnam was waiting for it, but Munford goes alone, puts his hands in the air, says, where's the foul to go with it?
Story of the night for Xavier Munford. Just gets to wherever he wants to get to on the floor. Gets to his spot, rises up. Bryce Cotton answers back. And here we go. Well, game on.
Well, that didn't look like a man before that shot. He was 1 of 10 from the 3-point line. Game on the line. Step backs, knocks it down for the 3 in the corner.
Can they get a stop here, the Wildcats? Again, it's that man, Munford, goes alone, doesn't go. Steal, though, back the other way.
Good read from Leafa.
Poor pass, though.
Just didn't have to do it. You get the stop, you get a chance to get a good possession. You're going to get it back.
So Mitch Creek lost it. Timeout called, 2:32 left.
Is it going to be a coach's challenge here? Perhaps.
Just a timeout to try and have a quick look and get a good possession. As you said, there was not a great pass from Mitch Norton, so Just to calm everybody down, draw something up to make sure they get a good look. 2.5 minutes. Spare a thought for the heart of everybody watching this game.
It's been relaxed all night, Simon Mitchell. Let's see how he is now.
Got cross match at that end. Okay, like Con's going to you, okay? If we can get any sort of guard-to-guard action, try and get that switch so he comes on to you so we can get him back this end as well. Hey, just need a little wherewithal, okay? It's 2.5 minutes to go. Bash, you get a small-ass motherfucker on your back there. I need you commanding the ball. Okay, you got to command it. He needs to see that you really want that one down there. Just keep your eyes open on that. All right, no step-back threes. All right, here we go. One and down there, guys.
We'll let that go from Simon Mitchell because he basically said it all in one syllable. So that was... I'll tell you what I'd love to see right now. We don't have it because I'd love to see if all the Jack Jumpers are watching this game together, live feed of how they're all going. But I think from what I've heard, they're all watching individually, just taking in what could potentially be either them getting another game. Oh, look at that.
So Bryce Cotton needed 2 threes to set the record for the most threes ever in a regular season. 2:24 left.
See what they've drawn up in that timeout.
Cotton to hit his last one, goes again. Huge rebound. Back out. Frazier gave it some thought. Everything more important by the second now, and that's stop.
Well, they don't need a three.
Yeah, I was about to say this. Did not need a three. And they're just blazing away as if trying to tie it up on that one possession.
They want to hit some shots, though, as we mentioned. Their defense hasn't been that great tonight. So they need to get some stops in the clutch.
Inside 2 minutes from the inbound, Mitch Creek. Liafa carved his way past him. Munford missed it. Massive rebound put down by Frazier.
And Ashley also got to be careful. He's got 4 fouls. I know he's trying to get another possession, but don't do anything silly.
Cotton to the corner. Norton! How big's that going to be? 87 apiece.
He's had his chances. He was 0 of 3 before that. And there were 2 of them in the last couple of minutes, wide open.
He didn't hesitate.
Mitch Creek fires it. Got it! Straight back at you from Mitch Creek. The whole season comes down to this last minute. Bryce Cotton hands it up. Norton again. Not this time. Munford's got it. 1 minute left. 1 possession game. Some poise. Southeast Melbourne Phoenix. Liafa. Ashley.
Oh, dear.
Adnam got inside. Didn't go. Blocking foul.
Bad foul there from Isaiah Liafa. That's the way to do it. Use your body rather than trying to put your arm out.
Well, it is, but it's going to be a bonus because it's going to stop the clock and it's going to give them a chance to knock down a couple of free throws.
You're right, and there was an interesting decision from the Wildcats. They threw a double team on Isaiah Liafa. Just trying to get the ball out of his hands, and in the end, it nearly gave a wide open 3 to Adnam in the corner.
Silence. Stunned silence at RAC Arena. Got the first. Nerves of steel. And everyone's nerves are jangling now. And the rebound put down by Magic. Bryce Cotton. This shot for the lead if he wants to put it up. Is it Bryce o'clock? Rebound. Who's got it? Glidden.
You don't have to foul. They're going to need to get a stop.
Oh, that's offensive.
Oh, wow.
Oh, my goodness.
Might be a challenge here. For any reason, you're going to call a timeout anyway.
Well, Scott Morrison wants the timeout. You see Xavier Mumford, he feels like the arm was pulled. Mitch Norton did that beautifully. There wasn't a lot of contact there. He made the extension of the arm seem like it was a lot worse. It was more the body that got him out of position.
Just didn't have to do it.
Nope. And the Wildcats, wow, they normally expecting Bryce Cotton, and he's had a couple of chances to knock it down. I think even though he's 2 of 13 and 6 of 21 on the night, I think he's still got to go back to him.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you got to live or die with Bryce Cotton. If he makes a play, Michael Frazier's been terrific if he gets an open one. But you've got time. You've got a chance here to draw something up to get a really good look. And then if not, you're going to have to try and play the foul game. But they get that offensive foul call. And what a big call. Maybe Mumford, as you said, Gate, didn't really have to do it. It was get the ball over. Perth would have had to get a stop, which they haven't done too well at this game.
Well, that's right. And he didn't need to be in a hurry. Just get it over the center line and use the clock and attack the rim in that last 6 seconds. Instead, the Wildcats get another chance. They're going to advance the ball.
They've got to go reasonably quick anyway.
Yeah, that's right. So
if you do miss, give you a chance for an offensive rebound. They've got 11 of them tonight. Or play the foul game.
29.4 seconds left.
Perth have no more timeouts left.
In game 140 of 140 regular season games. And 4th spot on the ladder comes down to this. 27, 26, 25 seconds. Bryce Cotton carves his way past them. It's Bryce the clock. All tied up, 90 apiece. If the Wildcats win, they're in. They'll finish 4th and play finals again. Wildcats lose. The Jack Jumpers are in. 22.8 left.
And Simon Mitchell, he should not, and he probably will not advance the ball here. He wants to be able to use the whole clock here, try and take as much of it off and just have the last shot for the win. If not, you're going into overtime. You don't want to give the Wildcats another chance.
You wouldn't read about the chance for overtime, an extra 5 minutes with everything that's on the line, but you're spot on. Absolutely, you take the last shot, time expiring. You either win it on the buzzer, end the streak, or you play another 5 minutes. But that was as easy as you like. Well drawn up, just getting Bryce Cotton getting downhill.
Well, I think they were worried about the 3, and as such, they're closing out, coming out hard, and then just the continuation drive made it relatively easy too.
Oh, I'm surprised we didn't see that play a bit earlier. They were hunting the 3 down in 2 minutes. So what have they got? What has Simon Mitchell drawn up?
If I'm the Perth Wild, you're not afraid. You sort of can gamble in this back court because it's unlikely, even if they get over the top, that they're going to take anything early, unless, of course, it's an absolute gimme. So you can put a lot of ball pressure here and gamble a little in the back court and try and get a turnover, but they choose just to retreat and try and defend in the half court.
Here we go, strap yourself in.
Is the unthinkable about to happen? Southeast Melbourne Phoenix with the shot to go in front. Blanchfield, he has the fire. Overtime.
Oh, my.
Overtime. Game 140 of 140 regular season games. And we're going to overtime to decide 4th spot heading into the finals.
Extraordinary. And
had a good look. He's been knocking that down all night.
That's right. And it was one that got to a really, really good position for Xavier Mumford. Let's have a look at this last play. They put the ball in his hands, and why not? Because he's been able to find his way to his spots regularly. And again, he does it. Just comes back and wide open. He's been knocking down that shot all game. And it comes good for the Perth Wildcats, and they get another 5 minutes to try and continue the streak.
As we've got the Hungry Jacks highlights in the first 4 quarters of action.
Well, they've shot poorly, the Perth Wildcats. They're only at 38% from the field. They've had some really, really good looks and opportunities to give themselves an advantage in this one, but they haven't been able to connect. And a little passive on the defensive end. Certainly the game, the second half changed. Maybe it's fatigue, but only 38 points to the Perth Wildcats in that second half. And as such, the scoring dried up, 54 in the first. And the game changed a little bit as the game got tight. And it's going to be hard. It's hard to predict in this one. And if that man was on the court, there'd be a lot more scoring options, not only for himself, but for others.
So a quick reminder, if Perth win this game, tickets for their home games for their semi-final series will go on sale straight after this game finishes tonight. If Perth lose, tickets for the Jack Jumpers home semi-final games will go on sale Wednesday. Here we go.
Now 5 minutes, Brandon Ashley has 4 fouls. So does Michael Frazier. So we'll keep an eye on both of those. Who would have thought? Last game of the year with everything riding on it, an extra 5 minutes.
Norton. Crowd up, they're clapping, trying to add some energy to their Wildcats. Norton gets it back, Bryce Cotton. Long range 2, got it!
I just feel like Bryce Cotton's going to have a big 5 minutes here. Has struggled all night, still got 26 points, but 2 of 13 from 3, 8 of 23 from the field. Got 7 assists.
Yeah, make it tough, make it tough, make it tough.
Mitch Creek.
Make it tough.
Joe Chi, he back his way in. Still a long way away. Tough bucket, but somehow finds the hole.
Closing him out too tight. When he's that mid-range, just keep your hands up, keep him in front. No need to put that type of pressure on Joe Chi when he's out that far off the box.
Cotton, they get it out of his hands, but he gets it back again. And the shot clock winds down to single figures. Steps inside, handed it up, Hodgson hook.
Good pass. Good finish. That's 8 assists for Bryce Cotton. Xavier Mudford.
Oh, my God. Oh, wow.
And how easy do you want it? Just puts the moves on. He's probably thinking, might have time to do that at the end of regulation.
Did good things down the other end. Hodgson finished that last play, but I think they might need to reconsider their defense.
Cotton turned it over. That was bizarre. And Mitch Creek takes it all the way home. Phoenix back in front. Cotton. Blanchfield. Tough poke. And he got it to go. All tied up again. 3 minutes left.
Great pass by Cotton.
9 assists now. Just reading the game very well.
Joe Chi, same spot. Tried a little shake and bake action. Hodgson picked his pocket. Perth bench up and about. They can take the lead back here. Bryce Cotton, he's stalking it. Gives us some thought. Hands it over. Blanchfield, ton of time. Can't nail it.
They're the ones he has to make, and they're the types of looks they got the last few minutes. Defensive transition is non-existent, and when your game and the season's on the line, to not have someone back to cover that, maybe it's fatigue that's kicking in, and they make the change. Hodgson checks out. Majuk comes back in, and that sub's purely based on defense. You saw what they were doing to Hodgson in those on-ball screens. They're hopeful that Majuk can cover him, but that's inexcusable.
It's a good foul by Mitch Norton to make it.
Well, it is,
from
but
the strike. Spot on. He's 2 of 4 tonight. That Hodgson was screaming for somebody to take it. Knocks that one down.
Give a lot of credit to the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix in this one. Of course, not for them. They're just playing for their pride and their record. And the good wishes of the state of Tasmania.
1 of 2 makes things very interesting.
A couple of nervous coaches right now. Scott Morrison, Simon Mitchell.
Guaranteed.
Don't forget
Scott
about Scott
Morrison's a lot more nervous.
And Frazier takes it all the way. Big moment, big move. Joe Chi, Mitch Creek, Liafa, Cotton right with him, wearing him like a glove. Back to Creek. Joe Chi again. Same spot, different opponent. Unbelievably good from the big guy.
It is.
Well, they're going to him.
They are.
Beating him. Really every single possession, besides when they've had a turnover and get out on the break.
Norton.
Alpha doing everything he can not to let Bryce Cotton touch the ball.
Here is Bryce. Step back 3. Rebound was there. Madjuk couldn't rake it in. And it's dangerous now for the Wildcats.
Good looks as he had. 2 of 14.
Phoenix lead with possession. Mitch Creek to make a statement of his own. And the basketball gods are with him.
Oh, beautifully called, Dwayne. It is. Just got a sense that fate's favouring the Phoenix in this one for some reason, and it's a lot of, to me, a lot of self-inflicted wounds by the Perth Wildcats. Now, that's a tough shot, but gets to his preferred left around the basket there and just steps by him. Got to keep him squared up to the basket. And now you say that advantage Phoenix.
Damien Martin, how's it going downstairs?
I was going to try and listen in on the Perth Wildcats timeout. The reality is I can't hear a thing above my own heart rate right now. I forgot I was working, to be honest, last 10 minutes. I've been caught up in the moment. A great overtime. The stars have come to shine. In particular, just flattening out the defence and getting the ball into Chi has been fantastic for Southeast. But what a ball game. So much riding on it. I can only imagine how Scott Roth is feeling. I'm thinking of you, mate. I can only imagine how every Wildcat supporter is feeling right now. And so far, Southeast have had all the answers in overtime, but 3 points is nothing when the ball is in Bryce Cotton's hand.
Well, I'll tell you what, Damo, mentioning Scott Roth, spare a thought for the cigars in Tasmania. Getting a workout.
Well, now it's real decision time. Again, there's still enough time on this clock. You don't have to settle for a 3 here. You take what's given. You need a score.
Norton. The seconds tick down. Cotton, a tool do. It got to the line. It's waved off.
That's
it's waved off. It hooked. Can you believe it? What a call! What a call in that moment.
I think it was there, Dwayno. I think it was there. Have a look at his left arm. There's the hook to get around Mumford. Now, you're not normally going to expect that, get that call at this time, but it's the correct call.
Well, you're right. He was there. Just doesn't get the advantage on the leg. And oh, what a big play moment in this game. They need to stop.
And they get it.
Two bodies collide, and it's going to go the way of the Perth Wildcats. And it's still not at that point right now where you absolutely need a 3-ball. Like that last play, if he doesn't hook and gets the layup, that would have been a good possession.
Well, you're spot on. He's 2 of 14 from 3. You still bank him to take it and make it with the game on the line. But it was the right decision.
Bryce Cotton. He can go for the 3 and tie it up. There's a ton of time left. Steps in, steps out. Gives us some thought. Back inside, hands it over. And it rims out. Wagstaff.
It's going to be a foul. Mitch Norton on the rebound.
One of their all-time greats. Can't deliver what would have been a game-tying 3.
That foul hurts. That's going to send them to the line for 2. Bonus 2. Where they could have potentially tried to get one more stop, but this makes it difficult.
Jeez, they had a switch, Bryce Cotton, and
well defended by Brandon Ashley.
That's what I was about to say. Brandon Ashley did a great job, used his length to take away the 3-ball and found Wagstaff, and right now you do need a 3.
Well, just think about what this set up right now. The season has been bookended by a game that is in overtime, 2 overtime games that involve really the Jack Jumpers. First game of the season, their overtime win, and this one.
4-point game. Bryce Cotton has the ball in his hands, danced inside, got past him. Amazing. But you'd expect nothing less from Bryce.
There's only 3 seconds difference between the game clock and the shot clock.
They're going to have to foul, you'd think.
Munford takes his time, hands it over. Ashley doesn't go.
Oh
My goodness.
Oh no.
For the win.
Is it written? Is it written?
For the win. Bryce Cotton. That's only for 2. Doesn't get it. And the unthinkable has happened. One of the world's longest professional league sporting streaks is over.
The Jack Jumpers are in.
Perth Wildcats missed the finals after 35 seasons of finals action in a row, and one of the most amazing debut seasons in Australian professional sport from the Tasmania Jack Jumpers has them in. 4th spot is theirs.
Welcome to the playoffs, Tasmania Jack Jumpers. Now, we thought we might take a while before we'd be saying those words, but no, sir. First year up, first year in. Congratulations to them, and commiserations for the Perth Wildcats. And, gee.
I mean, what a story. You know, it's big credit to the Phoenix. What a win to gut it out. Perth had plenty of opportunities, missed 3s, but as you said, Gazy, congratulations to the Jack Jumpers. They're going to live to see another day, and they're going to be feeling really good about themselves. And why wouldn't they? What a story.
It is, and this is going to be a tough one for the Perth Wildcats. They'll look back on this game, and the opportunities were there for them, and they played their heart out, but they looked nervous down the stretch. Guys you'd normally expect and you need to make buckets weren't able to do it. Bryce Cotton tried his heart out, but was only 2 of 14 from the 3-point line. Had his 28 points. And the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix, well, they did it, and they did it well on the back of Xavier Mumford, 24 points. And when you're playing with the house's money, that's easy to do, but not in this place, not with what it's at stake. And full credit to the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix.
The unthinkable has happened. A where were you when moment. The Wildcats missed the finals. Jack Jumpers are in. Back to wrap it up. Straight up to this. 102 to 100 in overtime.
Hey!
The Hungry Jacks highlights in what was an epic. Can you believe it?
Well, I can't, because the game did not shape out how I thought it was going to be played. Thought it was going to be a real grind, Perth Wildcats up and in, being real physical, but it got out into a free-flowing game. 54 points in the first half by the Perth Wildcats. But as we've seen over the last month, their ability to maintain that rage on the offensive end has been a challenge. And when your defence is allowing your opponents easy opportunities at this level, it's just too good. Their defence wasn't there today or where it needed to be, the Perth Wildcats. And I know you're going to think of the 39% from the field and say that was the reason. I think it was more was what happened down the other end. Mumford was fantastic with 24 and Bryce Cotton with his 28, but not all that efficiency. But look at the field goal percentages. They threw up 41 three-point field goal attempts and only made 10 of them. And yeah, that's certainly a big factor. They worked their tail off on the boards and got ahead there. But on the flip side of that, you look at that field goal percentage, particularly from the three-point line for the Phoenix, where they were 12 of 25, and that was a big difference. And Xavier Mumford was a star tonight.
Well, he was. I mean, he was the guy for the Phoenix. You mentioned on the defensive end, not good enough for the Wildcats. He got whatever he wanted. He's our footlocker player of the game. He was outstanding. 24 points, 9 assists, 6 rebounds, did absolutely everything. But Wildcats let him get going early. Just simply came off a ball screen, got to exactly where he wanted to be successful, knocked down shots. He made some big plays throughout the whole game. And as you said, when it comes down to it, you've got to make these plays. Yes, they were giving him a good look early, but he took over the game and he made some important ones. And in the end, as Casey said, defence just wasn't there. And they had their opportunities on the offensive end. All those threes, a lot of wide open looks, and the game was there to be taken.
Perth looked tired and nervous down the stretch. You could just have a sense they were playing with the weight of the world on their shoulders, and that ring becomes really, really small when that's in your head. And that's how it looked in that last quarter.
So the Final Four decided in overtime of the last game of the regular season. That is the Final Four. Melbourne, Illawarra, Sydney, Tasmania fourth. Perth Wildcats miss out.
Well, the thing is, 16 wins. They're 35 years, but they've still got a lot to be proud of. With 16 wins, 16 and 12, and you don't make the playoffs, that's unusual.
Even the Phoenix, 15 wins. Normally you think that could potentially get you in the finals as well. So what a year it's been, and what a couple of semi-final matchups we've got coming our way. I mean, they just played each other. The Jack Jumpers, we know, they beat Melbourne United on their home floor earlier in the season as well. So that is going to be an absolute cracker of a series. So is the other one, and it's all about to happen.
Jack Jumpers tickets go on sale Wednesday, so you better get in early. Thanks for your company. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you. Hope you enjoyed it as much as we enjoyed bringing it to you. In the end, South East Melbourne Phoenix winning the final game of the Hungry Jacks NBL22 season in overtime, 102-100. And this amazing streak of finals appearances for the Wildcats is over. We'll catch you in the finals.
Name something I ain't done. Name a body that's my type. Air Jordan, I'll take flight. I'm next level, I'm franchise. I'm top tier, I'm that guy. I'm the man of the year. I'm a man with no fear. I think like I'm a shark.
This program is brought to you by Hungry Jacks and Bunnings Warehouse.
for us yet?
Yeah. There we go. I want to get out of here. They're empty. God damn. We keep him at 39% shooting. And we got to get to overtime to win. That's some help, huh?
Oh, man. Yeah, no, that first half was crazy, too. The first quarter.
Unbelievable.
I mean, I'm used to getting shitty calls, but it was kind of crazy to see everybody else kind of get in on that one.
There's a pile on them. Bloody Haji. Oh, yeah. You speak in my language, please. Yep. Take my thanks.
Yeah, please. Thank you.
Yeah, no. Feel free to. See, I'll take a free beer out of Perth because Mike Kelly won't buy me one. Cheap son of a bitch. Hope you got that on camera. I'm going for a beer with Mike after this. It's my boy. But I know he ain't paying for shit. Thanks.
Thank you.
Plugged in. Got it on. Damn, cricky. Punted it 5 times.
But might have been a foul or 2 in there as well, though.
Stop it. Perish the thought.
There we go. Apologies again. We're ready to go. Chris Blake, start us off.
Simon, you talked after the game on Friday night about how why not try to come to Perth and end the streak and finish your season on a high. What's it feel like to have done it?
Oh, yeah. Might have been a little bit of rhetoric for the papers as well. I don't know. To be honest, the finishing the streak's not that big a deal for me. Can we maybe do something about that?
Sorry, guys, just had a bit of an echo in here.
We can barely hear him, Wayne, as well. It's really quiet.
Can you hear me now?
No, speaking now doesn't make any difference.
Okay. I know as a home coach, and we go second in the press conference, I lose my shit when this happens because we don't know what's going on. We're like, wait, what? Yeah. So could someone tell Scott? Because he's gonna be sitting there going like, what's going on? Yeah. I can say something. Better? You got me, Chris?
Yep, I've got you.
Okay.
You sound
Much better, much better. We can hear it now.
Let's start again.
All right. The streak is something that's for them to worry about, but the fact that you've been able to show some good character and get 2 wins inside 3 days with the travel, you've been to the season on a high at least.
Yeah, I mean, this team will never be together again in its current incarnation, and you always want to make, and it's going to be an opportunity where we look back on and say, man, if only, if only things fell our way, if only we could have broken down the wall on a few issues that we had. And so there's disappointment we're going to be reflecting upon, but it's a great group of young men. And we all love each other. We get along great. We have great relationships. For whatever reason, we just couldn't get it done together as a unit on the court for long enough. So you don't want it to be a regretful season, and you go out in a bad way. You want to be able to look back on our season together and remember the relationships and have something that we shared. Now, we shared a struggle, but now we shared a victory that I think we can all take great pride in. I think we're up against some tremendous odds out there tonight, and we overcame the odds, and we've got something now that we'll reflect upon. We'll celebrate it, and when Bash is gone from the game and we bump into each other up in Northern California, we go, that game in Perth, that was a good one, huh? So that's what you want from the game. At the end of the day, that's what you take. So we got a little something out of the back end of the season for us, which is nice.
The irony won't be lost on you because you won't be playing finals because you've lost so many close games, and you finish the season with a close win like this. It's funny how these things work out.
Well, I think people are talking up all our close losses. We ain't blowing anybody off the floor this year either. So every game for us has been a real struggle. We just never really clicked as a group. Our communication never really got to a level on the floor that we could compete with the better teams consistently enough. And, that's a lot of these losses that we had were in the last 2 or 3 minutes. So what we just talked about as a group together then was just like, our last 2 wins, we took care of business down the stretch, and that's a really good feeling. And that's what we wanted. When finals was out, we said, look, we've still got 2 chances to try and right something that's been an Achilles heel for us all year. And we did. And I'm tremendously grateful to the players to sticking with. It's easy to put the cue on the rack, but it just showed their character. And yeah, I'm a proud coach right now.
Brandon, from the players' point of view, can you talk through what that experience was like to go through? Because in a lot of ways it was like a playoff type game, just the atmosphere and what they were playing for, and you were trying to finish your season on a high. What was the experience like for you, and how are you feeling right now?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of bittersweet, you know. We went on a little bit of a streak of losing some close ones, and, you know, you look back at, you know, those games and think, you know, if we get one or two of those, it's a completely different story for us right now. But at the end of the day, you know, it's the game that we play. You know, it's our livelihood, our profession, and you want to come in and compete each and every game because you never know who's watching. You never know what opportunity could arise next. So, you know, for guys like me who, you know, I'm a, you know, import obviously, it was an opportunity for me to try and come out and compete and, you know, make my case for another job back in this league.
Both of your seasons in the league have turned out similarly, where you've shown well and truly enough to suggest that you can be a high-quality player in this league, but for whatever reason, neither season has quite gone to plan. Would you hope to see yourself get another chance next season somewhere?
Yeah,
potentially even back here?
Without a doubt. I've thoroughly enjoyed my time here in this league, but especially with the Phoenix. And yeah, it would be very special to, you know, come back and fight for, you know, a better season, a better opportunity, and for a chance to actually compete for a championship here.
So, I mean, look, apoplectic at times early in the game with the way the fouls were going and the number of free throws they were getting. How did you keep everyone focused, given that was an easy opportunity for everyone to just lose their minds?
Why would it be an easy opportunity for everyone to lose their minds, you think?
We all know that it's not, when you can't control things, that you can't control things. So, given the situation, that could have changed the game.
Yeah, and it did to an extent. You know, we had guys in foul trouble. We had to rest them. You know, they lived at the line. I guffawed when I walked in the room and saw the stats for the first time. They shot 39% from the floor, and we've shot 12 of 25 from three-point line. So we shot 48%. We've 38 of 80, 47.5, and it's an overtime game. It's Perth in Perth, baby. You know, it's a tough place to come in and conquer. And, you know, we had every right to be angry, I thought, and feel a little bit of injustice. But we've been working on our mindsets of next play through tough times. And it's not been about officials or officiating or anything like that. We've been a group that get down on ourselves a little bit when we turn the ball over, then we get tentative. And one of the things that we've really been working on all of the year, but especially during the tough times, was just putting it behind us and moving on. Now, we haven't been successful at it, but I thought the guys showed real character to push through a real high level of adversity today. So very, very, very proud of them. Is that as politically correct as I can possibly get?
Yeah, it's politically correct. Would you mind sharing what you said to Scott Morrison at the end? You spent a fair bit of time chatting with him at the end. It's obviously a significant day in the club's history and in the league's history. Do you mind sharing what you had to say to him then?
I mean, I know what Scott's going through because I'm getting kicks in the head as well. And the guy got on the shores 2 minutes before the season started. He's never really been able to, never got the opportunity to really establish in pre-season what you want to do. Now, he's got tremendous people involved in this club, and it's an unbelievable club with great playing group. But his touch needs to be there, and he was unable to do that because of circumstance. And I recognise that. I recognise going on the road for extended periods. And no one recognises, except maybe New Zealand, more, at least from an Australian standpoint, more of the effects of COVID than what Victorians do, and the lockdown and the effect that it has on people. Now, it affects everybody across society,
But what a lot of people don't understand is that our professional athletes in Victoria, up until a couple of weeks ago, were still living. Even after all the things have been open, they're still living a sheltered lifestyle. I got to see my kids play for the first time in 2 years a couple of weeks ago. I've got 3 young kids. I don't get to see them play. And I know that's what Western Australians are going through at the moment. And I just thanking him for his efforts and I'm just giving him empathy because I know what that group's gone through. And that 9 weeks on the road, it kicks you in the ass. And I think people need to take a step back, reflect upon what some of these people are going through. Don't worry about your streak. It's a great opportunity to start a new one. But cut a guy some slack. He's a hell of a coach. And Perth and the NBL are better with your support rather than throwing the boots in. Because I feel like some of the ridicule that's been going on in the last few days, it's just unnecessary and it's weak and it's cowardice. And I have actually what he said, there's nothing wrong with that. He just answered this question straight. It's what the media asked for. It's what he provided. You hang on the whole, they can pay my salary out. That's what's required. I mean, that just doesn't matter. So support the guy. No one's going to be feeling worse in Western Australia than Scott right now. So I hope I can have a beer with him tonight and we can have a joke and maybe put that